for him to prepare for what I'm going to bring to the table, and I'm just too sharp, too clean, punch way too hard, power in both hands.
I was screaming, I just shut the curtains because I was like nervous type stuff, but now it's like I embrace it because I always dreamed of this. That's why I don't never shy away from it. That's what I'm here to do. You know what I mean? To show out, so.
Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
In their tense face-to-face talk, Jake Paul shows total confidence in how much he's grown as a boxer and says he plans to defeat Gervonta Davis in brutal fashion. He believes his long sports journey has prepared him for this exact moment, and that he's ready to face the challenge without any fear. Gervonta Davis replies with the same confidence, saying he has everything a fighter needs. His power, skill, and experience make him one of the most dangerous boxers in the game today.
I know what I've learned in the past year with my new coaches, the shape I'm in, the power I possess, and I'm just...
Gervonta Davis has every quality a top boxer should have. He has explosive power in both hands, sharp timing that lets him hit at the right moment, and strong footwork that keeps him in charge during exchanges. His defense is tight, and his instincts let him read his opponents before they even move. Because of these strengths, Davis sees himself as more than just a power puncher. He truly believes he has everything needed to fight at the top level and keep proving he's one of the best in the world.
His training is taking a toll, but the cure is just as bitter as what ails him.
I know I gotta do it. 5 minutes?
5 will be good enough for you.
They definitely went to the kids store and get this.
That water ain't cold. We know that.
I know, but...
Get in the water, man. Just get in the water.
You can't sit on the edge.
Man, just get in there, man.
Go. No, give me the...
The upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis continues to stir huge debate. In the boxing world, it's a matchup built on clear differences. One side brings size, weight, and power. The other brings speed, skill, experience, and knockout precision earned through years at the top. It feels like two different boxing worlds colliding. Analysts point out that Jake Paul enters with a big weight advantage, which matters when judging the risks in the ring. His bigger frame gives him more power and strength to use, but that only helps if he can use it correctly. Even though Jake is taller and heavier, Gervonta Davis owns almost every key tool in boxing. His footwork, timing, and punching power were built through a lifetime in the ring, not a short career.
As far as people that are much heavier than him, and that uppercut, damn.
Well, who do you got?
I would have to bet on Gervonta because for all the little things, all that, and the fact that he's not old.
Yeah.
I think he makes up for the weight situation.
Okay, so this is the first time that Jake Paul's fighting an actual boxing champion, an active, young boxing champion. Everyone else he's fought was either way older or like, was it Tommy Fury, I think?
Yeah, he was a legitimate boxer. Yeah.
A legitimate boxer, but not a champion.
Right.
He's fighting a champion, although a very little champion compared to him.
Yes.
So this is sort of a, I don't know, man, like.
If it wasn't Gervonta Davis, and it was somebody else in that weight category.
It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous. But Gervonta, I mean, technique-wise and heart-wise, that makes it interesting. Like, again, kudos goes to Jake Paul because it kind of worked its way up, even though the guy is so much smaller.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm happy that Jake is bringing excitement to the sport and so forth, but you just have these, like, people fighting bears and, there might be a boxing match with a weapon involved of some sort. Like, people have sticks. Like, I feel it's just getting more and more ridiculous. And really, outside of Crawford-Canelo, there's really very little excitement over pure.
Experts stress that Jake Paul has never faced anyone with Davis's background. Gervonta has fought world champions, unbeaten prospects, and knockout specialists. He has beaten every kind of opponent, even those with longer reach than Jake. That's why many say Jake is facing his toughest challenge yet. Even Jake admits it himself. In interviews, he says Davis is on another level and that this fight demands full focus and serious improvement in his skills. That honesty shows Jake understands the danger ahead and knows he can't fight Davis the same way. He fought past opponents.
He's undefeated, highly skilled, most experienced fighter I've fought.
top 5 pound for pound. So I have to have the best version of myself. I know how fast he is. I know how strong he is. I believe I'm stronger, more athletic, and that's my advantage going into the fight. But he pretty much has every other advantage. So I'm locked in, fully focused, feeling amazing already, and just going to put on a performance and have the biggest fight of 2025.
Last one, I've seen some people say, "Oh, Jake, the goal here is just to survive." Knowing you, that's not the case. You're not going in there just to get through 12 rounds with Tank Davis. I would imagine you're going in there to win this fight.
Oh, absolutely. Tank's going to be the one surviving. I'm going to, upset a lot of people. And again, they're going to have to say that there's some crazy excuse, fights are rigged. They can't use the steroid excuse because we have full on random drug testing at any time. They could literally knock on my door right now. So they can't use that excuse. And obviously I'm suing people who say that the fights are rigged. Piers Morgan already had to retract his statement and kiss the ring. More lawsuits are coming for these people who are lying on my name because it's just simply not true. And we're willing to prove that in court. But I'm actually flattered that the only thing that people can chalk up these wins to is that the fights are rigged, because it's honestly the greatest compliment. But again, I'm going to knock this guy out and probably create one of the most viral knockouts.
Public reaction to this fight is full of confusion and curiosity. Some fans say it's not the matchup boxing really needed right now. They believe Davis should face other top contenders instead. Yet people can't look away. Jake Paul's fame brings a kind of entertainment spotlight that still pulls fans in. Many say this event might not settle any major boxing debates, but it will definitely draw massive attention and keep people talking long after the fight ends.
Was at cruiserweight. Chavez Jr. was a former world champion at middleweight himself, and that sort of made sense. And it was a good win for Jake Paul. He come out there and he beats an ex-world champion. He gets a little bit of credibility, and you go, right, now you're heading in the right direction. You're starting to be, okay, all right, former champions, former fighters, but at least they're boxers. They're not MMA stars, and whatnot. So, yeah, I think that was a move in the right direction. Gervonta Davis is just a little bit of a freak show for me.
Yeah, I agree, Spence. I mean, the size difference is a bit of an annoying one as well. But also as well, I hate when they put exhibition in it, because then you think how seriously they're really going to take it. I understand it because of the money involved, but realistically, if there can be a winner, Gervonta Davis should take him out, regardless of the size, pretty easily and pretty quickly.
I agree, mate. Totally agree. Gervonta Davis is an active fighter. Like I say, still a pound-for-pound star. Very heavy-handed as well. He should have the movement, forget the size, to be able to slip inside and take Jake Paul out. That's the reality of it. But, yeah, I just find it all very, very strange. Look, I thought an even stranger fight, to be honest, was Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. You look at that fight and go, who's going to sanction that? God forbid something happens to Jake. I think that what he's doing for the sport is brilliant in his own right. He's bringing new fans into the sport. He's doing excellent for women's boxing as well. You can't take that away from the kid, and he's been working hard as well, and he's improving. But going in against Anthony Joshua, a former two-time world heavyweight champion and still an active fighter, that's a suicide mission for me. I think that Anthony Joshua, and you look at Francis Ngannou, and look at what AJ does to Francis Ngannou, who would win out of Anthony?
Former UFC fighter and entertainer Mike Perry shared his honest opinion. He said Davis hasn't delivered the same kind of knockout highlights in his recent fights as he did earlier in his career. Perry wasn't saying Tank has lost his power. He was pointing out that expectations are now higher. Fans have grown used to Tank giving spectacular finishes every time he fights. That reputation creates pressure, especially when facing a bigger opponent who can take more punches.
Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw, and, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him.
Respected boxing expert Teddy Atlas also gave his thoughts, praising Davis for his complete skill set. Atlas said Tank is one of today's most dangerous boxers because he does everything well. His accuracy is sharp, his punches are meaningful, and he knows how to adapt to any style. That's something Jake Paul hasn't yet learned through experience. Atlas believes Jake's size advantage will fade once the fight begins. He says skill and experience always beat size when the gap is this big. Tank has faced all kinds of fighters, pressure fighters, long boxers, counterpunchers, and heavy hitters, and he's figured out how to beat them all.
Guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter. He can punch, and he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling, and that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if? What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're going to find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha. That's what's going to sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't. I know I get to places that other people won't go and everything else, that just dismiss stuff because it's easier to do that. It's safer to do that. You don't have to bows and arrows coming at you from people that argue with you because you did that. But I don't care. I've had bows and arrows my whole life. I don't care. But that's true. That what if? What if this guy who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air. Bang! And he hits him. Sid Terrace was a great fighter. No, not the 1700s, but years ago. And Cus D'Amato told me he loves Sid Terrace. He said, Teddy, he used to jump up in the air and hit you with 3 jabs. I said, whoa, man, Sid Terrace. All right. Anyway, look, I can't finish without saying that it did invoke some memories and thoughts that we've been here before in a different way, where Jake Paul's brother fought Mayweather. That's not forget. And I'm not saying I like that either. I mean, first of all, Mayweather was past his prime. He was already retired. He was older, everything, but he's still the great Mayweather. And Mayweather was fighting a guy, what was it, 50-pound difference, 60-pound difference, whatever it was. And that size made a difference. It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense. So, yeah. It's kind of like we've seen this already in that version of it, and we didn't really like it. I don't think I liked it that much.
Former rival Rolando Romero also gave Davis credit, saying Tank has already achieved more than most fighters do in their whole career. Romero reminded people that Tank has hurt bigger men and handled stronger fighters before. This is important because it shows that moving up in weight is nothing new for him. He's already proved that size doesn't stop his power. Romero believes Tank remains one of the best fighters in the world, and that he can still win big fights.
Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know. Like I said, or it's an exhibition. We don't know if they throw at each other or not, or we don't know. I don't know. I can't give an opinion because I don't know what's going on.
Do you think it impacts, will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were to beat him or even knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
You know, some people trying to give, that's fair, some people trying to give Tank a hard time. They're saying he should have took a fight with Lamont Roach or Shakur Stevenson. But when you think about it, do you think this is business and look, he's getting a bag, or is there some validity to people saying that he ducked Roach?
I mean, there's still other options, you know. It's bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or all that stuff, right? At the end of it, bro, we just want to do what's best for ourselves, right?
Facts.
Right or wrong?
Facts.
So just do what's best for you.
Yeah, no, I mean, me personally, it don't matter what my opinion is, but I don't think get the money while you can get the money is my opinion. But some fans are gonna have a hard time.
No, it's not
with
even about the money though, man. It's regardless of anything, yeah, get the money when you can get the money, but it's not even about the money. There's so much more to this sport in this world than just money, man. It's just do whatever you feel.
Talk about Davis's future has also become part of the story. Some insiders think Tank might retire after this fight. They say his focus has changed. He's already won world titles, sold out arenas, and created unforgettable moments. Now, financial security seems more important to him. Those close to him say he wants peace, stability, and more time with family. If that's true, this fight could be more than entertainment. It could be his final chapter. A moment to leave boxing while still on top.
What you making? Again, there's nothing wrong with Tank going to get his money, but let's all be clear that that's all the fight is for Tank. He's telling you without telling you that he's fighting Jake just because he's getting $40 million. So when we talk about boxing being dead, Tank has to line up at the front of the line. I can't blame him, but don't throw around, oh, boxing's dead and people switch sides and all of that. You chose not to be great. That's it. You chose not to be great. Stuff like that, choices like that will kill boxing, for sure. On a competitive level, it won't kill it on a business level. On a business level, until people run out of interest in these kind of matchups, it'll do well. On a competitive level, choosing not to fight the best will kill the sport. So maybe it's better if people like Tank aren't in the sport. And I don't even say that because I want that to be the case. I think Tank is ridiculously talented, but you can't want a fighter to fight more than what they want to. You can't. Tank fans or Tank people that like Tank and think he's one of the best, you can't want it for him. And then Shakur came back with, that's how I know you soft. I can't even go back and forth with you soft ass. You rather pop to me on social media than get in that fire and get embarrassed. I get it. Peace and blessings upon you, cuz. He says, the people got you chest out so bad. You talking like you a killer, forgetting that you the one that runs, bitch. I'll be bring the fight to you. This dude, a made-up character. Quote, blessings upon you. Clown-ass dude, wanna be Kevin Gates? Oh my goodness. I mean, here's the thing though. You can't say that stuff about Shakur if you're not willing to fight him. This is the point I think that we're going to come to today, is that Tank can say all this stuff he wants, but if you're not willing to fight Shakur, then none of it means anything anymore. Even if you believe that Tank is going to knock him out, even if you believe that Shakur's a runner, or that he's not in the trenches, or he's not a boxer that's willing to bring the fight, or whatever, none of it matters. You're talking from the sideline because you won't fight him. What does that say about Tank? If you talk all that stuff, you...
Analyst Max Kellerman believes Davis took the Jake Paul fight for reasons beyond competition. He thinks Tank wanted one last big payday that would let him slow down his career. A fight against a global star like Jake Paul guarantees huge money, no mandatory defenses, and no line of challengers waiting. Just one big event with massive worldwide attention. For Davis, it could be the perfect way to close a long, tough journey. Experts agree the fight will depend on who controls the pace. If Jake pushes Tank back and traps him on the ropes, he might do well. But if Tank finds his rhythm and uses his speed early, Jake could panic, and that's when fighters make their biggest mistakes.
Who I personally think has been checked out for way longer than this last fight. I think he was checked out prior to the Roach fight. I thought this was all going to be in the works, where he was supposed to beat the 16-1 Roach and then go on to fight Jake Paul and then call it a career, because I think the people around him understood there wasn't much left in the tank for him in terms of his want or his desire to be here. He did an interview with Dan Canobio about 18 months ago where he was like, yeah, man, I just kind of want to raise my family. I don't know how much left of boxing for me. I don't want to see a therapist. I want to, I need to, but like, I don't want to take away from my fighting. But I think it's time for me to do stuff like that. So I think the writing has been on the wall for Tank for a while. So that draw was kind of just like, I was on the way out anyway. I don't need to go back in there. And I said it at the end of that fight. I'm like, there's no way we see that rematch. He was so uncomfortable in that ring with Roach. He doesn't want to feel that again. He showed that night. So I'm not surprised that fight's not happening. I'm not even surprised he's fighting